Been killed and 4 people are injured. 6 are still unaccounted for after a fire at their hotel in Cornwall. 120 firefighters were called to the Penhallow Hotel in Newquay after the fire broke out just after midnight.
Only the shell of the Penhallow Hotel remains, and that is crumbling fast. The building's rooms, floors and roof destroyed by a ferocious fire. It's the peak holiday season and the hotel was full. 86 people were booked into its rooms, many of them elderly.
It was just an absolutely humongous fire. There's just never seen anything like it before.
Literally all the windows were ablaze, flames, and not the sort of thing you ever expect to see.
The fire started just after midnight and spread quickly. The building was soon engulfed in flame.
It was extremely difficult conditions for those people trying to escape the fire, and I think the demonstration of 3 people injured and sadly, as I say, a loss of life is demonstration of how difficult it was for people to get out of the hotel.
6 people are still unaccounted for. Police are hoping they're safe in other hotels rather than trapped inside the building.
If anybody was in this area last night who hasn't confirmed who they are and where they were, to do so now. With our colleagues in County Emergency Planning and our own casualty bureaus, we've tried to contact as many people as possible to secure the details as possible. Indeed, anybody who came to the barriers last night, we secured their details.
Neighbouring hotels were also damaged. They were evacuated. Residents taken to accommodation nearby.
We own 2 lodges in Newquay. Basically, we've had to evacuate our lodge, which is beside the hotel. We've got a lot of people up here all sleeping on the floor, in the office, anywhere we can pretty much put them, to be honest.
This is the Penhallow Hotel before the fire. Many of the people staying were from the northwest of England on a Robinson's coach holiday.
We are now hoping that the 120 people that we are looking after in a rest centre, at least 60 of those will be actually going home to Liverpool. That's going to help clear the way. We're still trying to match names, addresses and people.
What's left of the Penhallow Hotel will now have to be demolished to make it safe for firefighters to go in and investigate what caused the fire and why it spread so rapidly.
There's certainly a full fire system with smoke detectors and heat detectors in public areas and corridors. There was a detailed health and safety inspection just only 2 weeks ago.
It could be tomorrow before the building is safe for firefighters to search for any sign of the 6 people still missing. Mike Ramsden, BBC News.
Now, just before we go live to the scene, some breaking news coming into us regarding the hijacked Turkish plane. We're now hearing that all of the crew, though, our correspondent Andy Breer is there with all the latest for us. Andy.
Yes, good morning. You can see what's left of the Penhallow Hotel, a bit of smoke around. You can see the firefighters in front of the hotel at the moment. What's happening now is they're having what's called a silver briefing to decide exactly what to do with the building. It's very, very unsafe. As you can see, we've been seeing bits of the hotel fall down throughout the morning, and obviously there's an exclusion zone around the hotel. And what the fire brigade's looking at now is how to demolish it. Obviously, it's been a major incident. It's been treated as a crime scene. Obviously, 6 people still accounted for, and their whereabouts completely unknown. Did they go out with friends? Were they at the hotel? We simply don't know at this stage. And the fire brigade's big problem now is how to demolish that hotel without disturbing some of the evidence.
We were just talking to one of the directors of the hotel earlier, and he was talking about the fact that there had been this detailed search or examination by the fire authorities only 2 weeks ago, and he hadn't been to the scene yet, but was absolutely astonished at the damage that's been caused.
Yes, an amazing amount of damage. I was speaking to a taxi driver in Newquay who was here last night, who said the fire took hold so quickly. When he arrived, there were just a few flames, but the roof was well alight very, very quickly. I'm joined now by Colin Hatch from the Cornwall Fire Brigade, who's in charge here. Colin, what's happening at the moment?
Well, the stage we are at the present time is that we've got an unsafe building, and as you are aware, we've still got 6 people unaccounted for. We're now working with a specialist contractor who is coming in to assess and to actually remove the upper floors of that building and to make the structure safe before we can actually commit ourselves, our firefighters, and the police investigation team in to gather the evidence and start sifting through the actual rubble that's in there.
Any news about the 6 missing people?
No, we're, as we said, it's the same as we released earlier on. Unfortunately, we did have the one fatality, and our sympathies go out to the friends and families of those involved. We still have the 6 people missing. We are, along with the police and the emergency planning, trying to locate those people. They could have relocated to friends and family staying in Newquay, and because the call came in the middle of the night, they could still be sleeping, and we're hoping that they will self-present to the police. And if they are out there or were involved at all, I would ask them that they contact the police or the emergency planning department.
And what about the buildings surrounding the hotel? I mean, have they been affected by this fire?
Well, we've evacuated the buildings next to the hotel, and that hotel and the one down are still evacuated, and we will not let people back into those until we've done a full risk assessment to ensure that they're safe to do so.
Now, what about the response time last night? The fire just after midnight last night. How quickly were you able to get here?
Again, I've not got that information to hand, but it's a normal, any of our calls come into our fire control at our fire and rescue control at Truro, and then our appliances would have been mobilised.
And is this building likely to be demolished today?
We've got the contractors in now. We're just having a meeting now with the police to decide our course of action, but we will be starting to take the upper floors of that building down within sometime today.
OK, Colin, for the moment, thanks very much indeed. So that's the latest here in Newquay. We'll probably see some of that building coming down sometime today, but as we've said, there's still concern for those 6 missing people.
Thank you very much indeed for the moment. Back for more later on, should things develop.
Crosby.
A very good evening. Our top story tonight, at least 1 person has died and 4 are still missing after a fire gutted a hotel in Cornwall.
Well, police say the man died after jumping from a 2nd-floor window in the resort of Newquay. 1 person remains in a critical condition in a nearby hospital.
Well, hope is fading that the missing holidaymakers, believed to be from the northwest of England, will now turn up safe and well.
Officers have told Sky News they're investigating a burglary at the hotel shortly before the blaze began. Sky's Fraser Maud reports.
An infuriating dilemma. People are still missing, feared trapped in the rubble of the hotel, but rescuers can't resume the search for them until parts of the building have been demolished and made safe. This was the scene that greeted firefighters as they arrived at the Penhallow Hotel in Newquay, the building well alight and the possibility that up to 90 guests, many of them elderly, could be trapped inside. 1 man died as he tried to jump to safety from a 2nd-floor window. Another elderly man is in critical condition in hospital. It remains unclear how many others may be found in the charred wreckage.
The longer we go on, obviously the more concerned we become for the welfare of those people. And but we've just got to be, as I say, meticulous and in the investigation that we're carrying out. We've both got to investigate what happened together with the fire service, and that will take time. And we're taking our time with the people that have that come out, because they will hold, in many ways, the answer to who's missing.
With fire cover thin in this part of Cornwall, appliances and fire officers were brought in from Plymouth and Falmouth. At its peak, over 100 firefighters tackled the blaze.
The whole hotel, after a while, was alight, and there was some terrible bangs and crashes, and it was very frightening.
In Cornwall we operate a day crewing system, so the crews have to respond from home. Newquay doesn't actually have a 24-hour crewed station, so they had very limited resources when they initially turned up. And it was down the instant commander really to prioritise those rescues and start deploying resources as the best he could.
The difficult process of interviewing the traumatised guests about their ordeal is continuing as police try to determine if there are any more victims trapped in the rubble. Ironically, a wooden fire escape is one of the few parts of the building left intact. A full investigation into the safety measures in place at the hotel will soon be undertaken. Meanwhile, it's been revealed that a suspected burglary may have occurred shortly before the fire started.
What we're asking is anyone that has any information in relation to that burglary to contact the police on the normal number, and in addition anyone that has any photographs or perhaps video film from the hotel from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. this morning to come forward with that information.
We've got some very experienced fire investigation officers on scene and a specialist fire investigation contractor with us to assist us with that. So, I'm convinced that if the cause is to be found, we'll find it.
The emergency services now say the building will not be safe enough to search again until Sunday morning. Until then, any investigation, and more crucially, any search for the missing guests, will have to be delayed. Fraser Maud, Sky News.
Well, in a moment we'll